Hey everyone. For
Hey.
the Proko Ukraine fundraiser, we're here with the final stream with Rembert Montald. We are doing this to raise funds for the humanitarian effort in Ukraine. So, raising money for hospitals, feeding kids, helping refugees, that sort of thing. And I will be asking Rembert questions from the chat while he does some cool art.
Or at least try to. Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself, Rembert?
Yeah, sure. I'm a storyboard artist at Riot Games. I've been working there for 5.5 years. Before that, I did some freelance. I live in LA, originally from Belgium. Uh,
That's it.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I've known Rembert for a while, and I'm a huge fan of his artwork and sketching. So. Um, um, could we could we switch to his screen? Okay, cool, nice. Um,
yeah.
yeah. By the way, we're almost at $50,000 for anyone.
Jesus.
It's crazy. We're hoping to hit that either before the end of the day, or yeah.
So everybody just donate a little bit, even if it's even if it's just $2, or hopefully a little bit more, but
Yeah.
like every little bit helps, right? It's if you're
Um,
gonna if you're
oh well,
gonna move stuff, it's the more people there are. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
you have a drawing up for sale on the proko.com/Ukraine.
That's true. That's true. It's a sketch,
Yeah.
the ones that I usually do, but this one is a bit bigger because normally I do them in little in my sketchbook. Like there are some videos on the Proko channel about that. But this one is on archival paper. It's actually on a Proko sketchbook. So
Nice.
hey,
Sick. Well, do
yeah,
you want to talk about what we're going to be doing now? Or?
yeah. Since it's May and the last 5 years, there was always this mermaid thing. Usually do, but this one I'm going to do like a yellow mermaid on blue, so sort of more yellowish. That's also the colors of Ukraine, and I'm gonna try to experiment live, which is scary, but I'm just gonna do it. So
Yeah. Nice. That's exciting.
yeah, as you can see, there is already something on the canvas, but it's actually just textures that I blasted on it. I usually start like this. Sometimes I start from a drawing, a scan, or anything, but this gives me some sort of texture that I can grasp onto and get rid of that white Photoshop background. So these are all different paint textures I just overlaid. So it's not anything specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm not unique in this, but
No. Well, I think, I've been talking to a lot of people about this, but one of the scariest things about painting is starting with a blank canvas. And I know plenty of people who will just do a wash or something over their painting just to have, a place to start, just to have like some abstract shapes to go off of.
yeah, I know my teacher. He used to put his coffee on his painting, like just have a coffee ring or something, so that there's something he can go off
Yeah.
from. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
How you been doing, Christian? You've been doing this nonstop
I'm
for.
good. I shaved my head. Have you seen my shaved head yet?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw
Mm.
it.
Shaved my head for the for the fundraiser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Modern Day James also put his for sale. I saw.
Yeah. Modern Day
So
James will get a head tattoo for $2,000.
a hat tattoo.
Uh-huh.
What is he getting a tattoo?
What? If somebody wants to work with Modern Day James to get his head tattoo for $2,000, it'll go to a good cause, and you'll also be responsible for him getting a lifelong decision etched into his head. Um, yeah. um,
Let's talk about. I know you wanted to save this maybe for your podcast, but
no,
Christian actually donated money to a school in Peru.
oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we traveled to Peru together at the start of the year.
We went to Iquitos in South America, and Rembert and I and his wife Marielle went to a small village in the Amazon, and Danny, we've been working with Danny a little bit to, I guess, help with their school. I donated some money to paint their school stuff, and yeah,
it's very noble.
Thank you.
Because we also clean up trash in the Amazon forest.
That's also true.
Yeah, you forgot all these things.
I'm gonna say hello to the people that are saying hi. Forwarded said hello.
Who?
Forwarded. These are just people in the chat.
Okay.
Arsene Light says hey. Emerald Glow says heyo. Emmanuel Godson says Z. Shaman says thank you, Proko. Greetings from Ukraine.
Nice.
Yeah, and hey, it's dark in Vegas. That guy's been around for a lot of the streams. Hey, how you doing? Rembert is a brilliant artist. Like, if you haven't seen his work, I highly recommend checking him out on Instagram and ArtStation. We did a video with him not too long ago where we did a sketchbook tour with him, where we went through his sketchbooks that he was developing when he was a student, talking a bit about his philosophy as an artist and how to train. And he has some really great insights on, I guess, getting better and enjoying the process of drawing.
Whatever getting better means, right? Like,
yeah.
That's always
the
question. What is better?
I guess I'll start with a bunch of the few common questions that a lot of people are asked. Is like, do you feel like you have any specific art goals when it comes to any of this stuff, or like anything that, if you achieved, you would feel like you'd achieved a major milestone in your goals in art in general?
Huh. I like fine art eventually, but what is fine art? That's also good. I think doing my personal art, like, I'm not really into learning software packages or something. I know, and I do it, but that's not my passion. I think a nice goal would just be doing my own stuff at some point. And I'm doing that in my free time, but actually being able to live from it. And I know I can do it probably, but I'm just like enjoying telling stories with Riot at the moment, and then afterwards,
yeah,
probably just trying to. So I don't think I answered the question, did I?
I guess it's like, do you have any like overarching artistic goals? As just to you, like, what's your final goal as an artist?
Yeah. Is there too much background noise? If it is, then I can.
That's okay.
Okay. I'll just move the mic a little bit closer.
If Marielle would like to come and say hello, she's really welcome to.
Oh, she's to Costco. It's just in the background or something.
Okay. Oh yeah, got it. Tomek says hello from Poland. Warren42 says hello. Emerald Glow says looking forward to seeing your mermaid drawing.
Oh, it's gonna be more of a painting at the end, but yeah, let's see what it becomes. I've actually never drawn a mermaid, so this is interesting.
Yeah, this will be cool.
Let's take out the mixer brush. Hopefully the computer will not be chugging too much, because usually that happens. This is usually how I paint, by the way. Like, I grab stuff. I just try to let the painting speak, because too many people, they don't listen to the painting. And I know this sounds like poetic, whatever, but too many people just they don't listen to their painting that much, and they're just trying to force it what they want it to look like, while you can clearly just do something to it.
Yeah.
And then take a look, and based on that, like, okay, what does it need? Maybe it needed something different than what I wanted it to be, because it's creating a painting is sort of like having a kid. It's not what you really wanted it to be, but there it is, you know. I mean, not what you wanted it to be. Like, you do your best to make it, to educate it as good as
Yeah.
possible as you can.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, I mean, it might sound esoteric or something to say you're not like speaking to the painting or something, but I think that's correct enough to, you know, like it makes sense. I think that when you're doing a painting, you're just responding to different brushstrokes based on your own past and intuition.
Yeah.
And almost like talking. It sounds kind of corny, but Camila Abugada says hello from Peru.
Hey, where are you at in Peru?
Yeah, if you didn't hear, Rembert and I spent a week and a half or 2 weeks in Iquitos, and I was hanging out in Lima for a little bit. Also, Dark Air in Vegas says, I've been trying to watch as many as I can. I just got a few courses, some other assets from the list just for charity. Just got the one-on-one from Anthony Francisco. Better be worth it. Lol JK. Yeah, can't force it. Yeah.
As you can see, I'm painting with the RGB slider. I always paint this way. I think it's my favorite way to actually paint.
Now, Rembert, how much would it cost for you to shave your head on stream?
On stream?
Yeah.
I did it before for free, just because I wanted to have a change.
Mm.
You mean like to the bare bone, like, or like 1 millimeter, or what?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, 1 million. I think
like enough for to be bald and enough to surprise your wife when she comes home.
Okay, 2,000, I guess. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Is that too little? Should I ask him more?
It seems like I don't know if it's too little, but I don't know if anyone would buy it for $2,000. Somebody would definitely buy it for like $50, but that's definitely too low. It's cool watching you try stuff out.
I'm actually sort of I know this sounds silly. I have a plan.
Yeah.
But I always switch up my brushes because I don't want it to look the same.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess this is a common question that a lot of people have been asking, just about the industry. You know, there have been a few software engineers, a few, people that they have their day jobs that aren't artistic, and they're just curious about how do they maintain motivation, creative motivation after they get home from work. Like, how do they study and study at a rate to where they can feel like they're making real progress? Because I know that you lived in Croatia for a little while too.
Oh, you want me to tell that story? Okay.
Yeah. I guess
it scares people when I say that, because then they think I'm some sort of maniac. Yeah. Well, actually, I kind of was. Should I tell the entire story, or?
I guess just your thoughts just on being able to train as an artist while also making reasonable progress, but also living well.
So the reason why I went to Croatia is that I can see how slow this goes because it's a mixer brush. So the reason why I went to Croatia is because I graduated from school and I found that my level of art was not sufficient enough. And I just calculated the money I still had left and realized that that my level or what I wanted to be is totally not there. And then you know what, you can put it to $1,000 for shaving my head. I was just thinking, like, you know what, I'll do this. I'll make this happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's still too much, but I don't want to. there's like a
real chance that somebody would actually do that.
Yeah, then there is a little bit. I don't know. Maybe my mom is going to donate or something because she likes it when my head is actually hurt.
Well, if somebody were to donate about $1,300 right now, we would be at 50,000 total for the fundraiser.
But then we'll have to extend the stream because shaving my head will take me half an hour, and then the painting will suffer.
Oh no. Partho Roy says love from India. Hey, Partho Roy.
Hey.
Yeah. Do you have any artistic influences that you're thinking about right now?
Oh yeah, I was telling my story about Croatia actually.
Oh, yeah.
Let me finish that one. I'll answer that one too. It's an interesting question. But so I didn't feel like I was where I wanted to be, and then I had the chance to take a job in Belgium for what was it? I got offered a job in a commercial studio for 2,200 a month, which is euros, which is a very decent pay in Belgium. And there's sound.
There's some background music now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Lo-fi.
Nice. You can also draw, Christian, if you want.
Oh yeah, yes, I could.
So I went to Croatia because it's cheaper there, and I calculated the money that I still had left could sustain me for 2 years there. So I didn't want to work just at a normal commercial office. Nothing against that, but I guess what I wanted to do was obviously big storytelling, and the level that required that to do that was much higher than I was in school.
Yeah.
And then I just calculated, okay, I'm gonna spend this much time, and I even hired my own teacher to help me achieve that goal, and that's what I basically did for 2 years straight. Is just sit there in a 300 rent per month apartment and just draw all day. Luckily, after 8 months of doing that, I went to an event, THU, and I spoke to Ryan Woodward, who I'm actually going to visit tomorrow. I'm
Nice.
flying out to Utah to say hi to him. So we're still friends, so that's kind of cool. Like, he was and still is. Like, I massively love his work.
Yeah.
And he just took me up. I started freelancing from Europe for a while, and then I came over to the States. But there was a huge risk me going to Croatia, because if I didn't took that risk, I would have taken the Belgian one. And again, nothing wrong with that, but it's not what I really wanted.
People are asking, when you say school, do you mean like high school?
No, university. I went. I did 4 years of animation in a university. Yeah.
And then SV asks, What would you practice when you would draw all day in your apartment?
Anatomy, mannequins.
Proko stuff?
Yeah, too. My teacher actually pulled up a lot of Proko videos. It was very important that I had that private teacher. I think if it was just, I couldn't have done it by myself. I know some other people have that discipline to study by themselves. It's like getting a personal trainer who kicks your butt.
Yeah. I always talk to people, and I think it's incredibly important for people to to have mentors, have people that are kind of guiding them along the path, because art is such a hard thing to do that at some point you're going to have some self-doubts, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, I have it right now.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit what I'm doing. I know I'm trying to get depth in shapes because it's fairly abstract because there's some water involved. But I'm trying to think of texture, no texture. Like here, there is no noise. Here, there's going to be the focal point. So maybe I'll gonna try to. But I want the eye to be guided there, and I want to have it like this here. Maybe I'll keep her dark hair. I wanted to give her red hair, but I kind of like the contrast and how it's a soft etch into the water.
Hello from Germany. Or somebody. I can't pronounce your name, so I'm not going to try. Sorry. But hello. And then the same person says, "Oh, so if you went to animation school, how did you get so good at painting?" It's painting, right?
Yeah, I'm painting, I think, yeah. So good at painting. I don't know if I'm that good at painting, but thank you for considering that. But I just always loved art, fine art. My parents had my grandmother had an art gallery. And as a kid, I was always sitting there. And there were artists there that came into the gallery, and I was bored, and my mother gave me a pen and a piece of paper, and she just said, "Oh, you can draw stuff if you're bored." And I started drawing stuff, and the artists would come in, and they would look at my work and say, "Oh, that's pretty good." And then I thought, "Oh, professional artists like my work, I must be good." But unbeknownst to me, they were just being kind to the gallery owner's kid. But it did give me a false sense of I can do this. But unbeknownst to me, that was a huge motivational booster to continue. So I think just motivation is important as a kid.
Yeah. Well, somebody, Dark Air New Vegas just said, "I can study by myself, but I always struggle to know if I'm improving." And I think that's actually one of the harder things to do, as like if you're not at the stage where you feel like you're doing good art, so you're just kind of having faith that the exercises that you're doing are making an impact on the quality of your art. It's a really hard phase to be in, I think.
You know what? This is going too slow. So when you work with mixture brush, the image size is actually not that big, but I'm just gonna half it for now.
Yeah.
Because it just takes forever to do brush strokes. And I'm gonna upscale it later. There you go. At least scrubby zoom still works sometimes.
Nice.
Okay.
But how do you feel about being a student and moving past, or I guess getting past feeling that you're not improving with your studies?
I had a friend once, so it's not uncommon. I mean, he's still my friend. He told me, if you complain one more time to me that you suck as an artist, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. So somebody told me that. Oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal to think you suck.
Yeah, well, and I think that a big part of training as well is loving the tedium of it, because drawing portraits and anatomy studies and all that kind of stuff is training is really it's actually super tedious. And if you can, it sounds like obvious, but if you can learn to love just the process of it versus being goal oriented, and just that'll do a lot more for you as when you're training than just trying to focus on doing the drawings, because you really never stop training. You're always going to be doing that stuff. So if you can learn to love it, you're gonna get really, really good really quickly.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Are you adding highlights from the water and smudging, or just one or the other?
I'm just trying to create textures that look interesting, because water is hard to paint, and I'm doing this live, so you think whatever you may from that. It's like I'm totally aware that this could fail and at the end create a bad.
Yeah.
But as you can see, I'm constantly trying stuff. I sort of know what I want. I see it in my head what I want it to look like, but I want the painting to tell me what it wants, and if I force it and I try to... So I can do two things now: panic and paint faster, and then it's going to be ruined for sure. Or I can just listen to the painting, like I said before, and try to see what it needs while I'll add. And I know I'm redoing this part, but painting to me is the art of restating. Like, you restate everything you do. If you can get everything right from the first time, I applaud you. There's a school of artists that think that way, that it should be that way, but I am more of the in the opinion that art should be restating. You're discovering it. Yeah.
Tomic says, I always admire the perspective in Rembert's art. What's the best way to improve it? It's always great to hear some book recommendations.
Books on perspective?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the best way to improve it? It will always be great to hear some book recommendations.
I don't know about any books of perspective. The way that I was taught was in school. I studied architecture for 2 years, so that's how I know that. I can't. But that was more with the panel, like old school architecture.
Bianca Scott asks, how do you deal with creating art under time pressure? I find it really difficult to make something when I have a deadline. It usually doesn't come out too good. Also, hi from Poland. Love your work.
Well, it's stressful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit stressful right now, but you just make the best of what you can in the time you have. Like, any advice on that? Just have faith, I think. Be confident.
Yeah.
And I know that's difficult, and it's easy to say. It's one of those cases, like, yeah, easy to say, difficult to apply. That's true. The only thing that destroys a piece of art is a lack of confidence. It's, even more with watercolors. This is all mixer brush, by the way, and you see me adjusting the wetness here.
Are there any odd places you like to find reference from?
Shot Deck. I really enjoy. It's a site where you can find. Before I storyboard anything, I usually go to Shot Deck to search for reference. Shot Deck, yeah. So here I'm going to show you a trick to really darken something and get the light areas out of it. So I just copied this area. I'm going to make the brightness of this much lower, and darken it. And I merge that, and then I double click here, and you get these layer styles. And what that actually does to you, for you, is you can pull out only the lights by moving these. You see? And then you can just erase the bottom out of it and the top. And then you only had the darks are darker now. It's gonna be more apparent when I do this. Yeah.
SV asks, do you think storyboarding can be self-taught?
Absolutely. Just how I storyboard is the actual storyboarding is not it's not on paper. I do it in my head. So before I start a project, I just try to lay down and see it in my head before anything. And when I see it in my head, then I run towards the table and I do it.
Yeah.
It's like you're dreaming. I know that sounds way too corny. I'm giving a lot of corny examples today, but that's basically how I think about boarding.
Well, what was the name of the website called again? Shot Deck?
Shot Deck, yes.
Shotdeck.com. Also, when you study people on the tram, when learning, would you be concerned more with likeness or trying to break it down into simple forms? Also, what is your opinion on likeness?
My opinion on likeness. If you're doing a portrait of a friend, that's the hardest thing ever, because there's this pressure. Your friend is gonna feel like you want to be kind to your friend, right? Or ideally. So. And on the tram and the train, I would do. I wouldn't care about likeness. I would just try to get the mood and the attitude. Yeah, I think that for sure. Like if someone was holding a baby or something, then I would really try to capture the feeling of somebody holding a baby, that feeling, the tenderness of the moment. And if you can capture that, that's way more important than getting a likeness, in my opinion. Like I could be wrong. I'm totally open to the idea I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, I think it really depends on what your goals are. Like you might want to, like if you're wanting to study structure, you might want to not do likeness, and if you're studying likeness, you probably want to do some likeness.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Is the profession of art meet your expectation? Do you ever feel that having it as a job ruins the fun of it?
For some people, it does. For instance, I know when I started as my internship in an animation studio a while ago, there was this lady, and I just asked her out of curiosity, what do you still do a lot of personal art at home? And she said, no, I'm too tired after work. I can't, I don't have time for that anymore. And I said, why not? Like, oh, it became a job and I don't really want to do it anymore. And I said, that's horrible. I never want to become like that. I didn't tell her that in her face. I was like thinking afterwards to myself. And that's what I vow now, to keep doing personal work and keep being excited about art and trying to trying to stay excited. And I do that by going to museums, trying to just like, remember as a kid, like what did I like about art in the first place. And if you can remember that, if you can identify it with your inner child, I think that's the most important thing, because we all did this job to make our own cool shit. I said this before, and if you're just getting paid to do other people's art, other people's dreams, then you're gonna get sad in the end. And I hope that is, nobody wants that, right?
Camila asks, would you say that a bachelor's degree is necessary to work as an artist?
No, nobody ever asked for my degree except the American government when I applied for a visa. Keep going, guys.
Yeah.
These are good questions, actually. It's not like, oh, what brush are you using?
What brush are you using?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah, by the way, just to reiterate, this is for the Proko Ukraine fundraiser. We're raising funds for the humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. So hospitals, helping the kids, helping refugees, all that sort of stuff. If you'd like to donate, go to proko.com/Ukraine, and Rembert is selling a drawing there. Or here, I want to see if it's sold yet, actually.
You want to see what?
I want to see if your drawing is sold yet. Oh, your drawing sold.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, your drawing sold, so there's no more Rembert drawing.
Nice. I'll find a nice home.
Yes. It is going to a good cause to whoever bought that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm flattered.
Were there any specific art instruction books you used to like Lumiset books?
Are there any specific art books?
Art instruction books you used like Lumiset?
No, but I wish I had the famous artist course sooner, because that's what I'm actually looking at right now. Still not a mermaid, I know.
Cool.
I mean, the mood is starting to get there. That's always what I go for first. If I don't get the mood, what's the point of getting a face right?
Yeah.
I mean, the face is important, don't get me wrong, but I get more pleasure in I find more pleasure in this. Actually, way too zoomed in already for such a long time.
Do you feel nervous when a professional project you worked on is about to be released to the public?
No, I feel excited because I can post my art then. I know I'm a show-off.
That's cool. Joe Gettler asks, just tuning in, really love your sketchbook videos, Rembert, very inspiring. I've watched them a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And Christian also did a great job, actually. It was actually Christian's idea to do that. I would think who would be interested in watching my old stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently, yeah.
Great artist, Rembert.
I wasn't fishing for compliments, but
you're the worst artist I've ever.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're a fraud. Manakinu asks, do you think that doing your own art or just sketching for the sake of it is important not to get burnout? If I don't study something specific, I always tend to feel like I'm wasting my time.
If you're not studying something specific, you feel like you're wasting your time?
Yeah.
I disagree, because what I usually did in the evenings is I would just doodle whatever comes to mind, and that's how you create your own style. Like, your mistakes become your style, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Moon Soup says, at Christian E, thank you for all your hard work hosting streams this week. Streaming all day
Yes.
can be pretty tiring, so I'm sure Proko team really appreciates the effort. Almost 50K.
Yay, Christian!
Almost 50K. Yeah, let's get there.
No, he's right. Thank you, Christian. You're doing an amazing job here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you ever get lost when you're doing this sort of semi-random exploration type methods? I will sometimes forget what I'm exploring and get lost and overwhelmed.
Yes, that sometimes happens, and then you start again. That was an easy one.
We're $800 away from being over $50,000. Maybe we can hit it in the next hour or so, before the end of the stream. Not a great question.
There are no bad questions.
Yeah. Renchi Toledo, this is a great question. This is a good question. But I can't help but notice 2 display pens. What is the other one for?
Display pens?
Do you have 2 display?
I have 3. I have 3 screens.
2 pen displays. Sorry. So it seems like you have 2 Cintiqs.
Yeah, I have 2 Cintiqs, but I don't use that one.
Why is that?
Because okay, this is just me. I'm not trying to say big. So this one is too big. I go into too much detail. So what I do is I have this one open, and on the screen where Christian is, next to his head is my navigator. So I have my navigator open, and I just look at my my work there. So it's actually sort of an Intubos and a Cintiq at the same time, because I can actually paint like this. It's just there to confuse you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's there to make you look like he's a baller.
Yeah.
SV asks, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but as a story artist, are you able to live comfortably?
Yes.
You
actually earn more than I mean, generally speaking, like, I'm not saying about any company specific. Storyboard artists earn more than illustrators. Think about that.
Emerald Glow says, what do you think about doing social media as an artist? Have you posted any paintings that you're not proud of?
No, because I don't post them. Like, I don't feel forced to post anything. That's why I haven't updated my my ArtStation in a while. My Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask every single question that comes in through the chat, and
Please,
unless it's completely absurd. So for anyone listening that thinks they have a question that is too outside the realm of Rembert, feel free to ask it. I might not answer it depending on if it's crazy enough, but you know. Do you have any advice for people who want to get better at art but don't know where to start in terms of studying and staying motivated to do so?
Can you repeat that? Any advice for people
who want to get better at art but don't know where to start in terms of studying and staying motivated to do so?
If you're not motivated, then why do you want to do art? I mean, that sounds probably too much. I don't know. How does it sound? Does it sound bad?
I think art is a really difficult thing to do, and finding motivation in it is actually what people are generally paying you for. Like, to be able to see something really meaningful in the mundane, like be able to look at a rock and make it a cool rock. It's your job as an artist to almost be inspired. And I would say actually that's the hardest part about doing all this stuff is getting to a point to where instead of playing video games or watching a movie or eating junk food, you're choosing to paint a picture because, you know, it does, it is more enjoyable than playing video games or eating junk food and watching movies.
Yeah, and don't be stressed about painting anything. Look what I'm doing right now. It's just completely random.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not random, but
a lot of it is just trying stuff out. And yeah.
Probably people wanted to see me draw something really pretty and then discover the secret of storyboarding or something.
Yeah. Well, but I also think it's like people have seen you draw and sketch. You know, if people want to learn storyboarding for Rembert, he has a Gnomon course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a few courses on Gnomon. For your personal project, do you want to create a story/film one day?
Story film. Story film. Yeah. I've already made 2 films. You can find them on Vimeo. One is called Say Cheese and the other one is called Aura.
Okay.
So there's 2 films that you can watch. And yes, I have a script for a personal project for a third one. If only I can find a year time to do it, because there was Say Cheese took me a year to do.
Is this a photo study, Rembert?
Not really.
That's a question from Victor Kalita. I hear about observing everything, but growing up in a crowded city and being shy and introverted, I taught myself to ignore everything around me. And any tips on going back to observing things again?
Any tips on observing anything again? Just whenever you stand still and you find yourself with nothing to do, like you're waiting in line, just try to draw and paint. I think it's the best thing you can do. Even if it's a quick little sketch, like I try to draw on my phone. I try to always have something to do, except when I'm around people. I mean, it's your choice. At events, you have these people that sit there in a corner and they just draw. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I think when you're outside, you should also have time to talk to people and really be there. Because if you just art is there to serve life, not the other way around. It's at least my opinion. Although I wasn't like that when I was younger, because I used to draw anywhere in dancings. I was a little bit crazy.
Lachman Ben Hamida says, "I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. With so many good artists nowadays, what are some tips to being able to stand out?"
Look at all of them and ask yourself, what do all these artists have in common? And then by answering that question, you know, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, well, I think another way to look at it as well is to focus on what you really care about too. Because if you follow the crowd, you're probably going to miss the wave, because people have already done what you're trying to do. Whereas if you just like are interested in the things that you care about, that's like so unique to you generally that no one could even possibly predict that.
Yeah, for instance, when I was applying to Riot, a lot of my friends, they would just say that I should do splash art, but I didn't want to do splash art or draw. I wanted to paint more classical inspired stuff. And that's what I did, and I got hired for that because it stood out, like from all the people that were trying to create the new skin line.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't applying for skins in the first place. It was more for storytelling.
Do you suggest focusing on a story of a pose or person even when I'm in the early stages of learning fundamentals?
I would just, I mean, it depends how early it is, right? I would try to, difficult question to answer, because when you're really just starting, it depends how early you are when you're starting. If it's super early, then I would just focus on having fun. But if you're really getting serious, then I would just start learning anatomy and all that stuff that is considered more boring. But always remember why you're doing it. Don't transform into an anatomy machine that you don't even remember why.
Do you have any other hobbies outside of art, Rembert?
I like to play guitar. I like to play guitar a lot, actually, to the point that I could stop painting right now and play some guitar if you want.
Could you actually do that?
Oh, might we play guitar?
I do. Can you play for a little bit?
Sure. The acoustic is missing a string, but
We'll figure it out. Rembert is a brilliant musician. He shreds.
So I don't know if you could. Yeah, I don't know. I should actually plug it in, because I mean, I don't know.
I have no idea.
This one is wrong. That's interesting. Anyway.
Thank you, Rembert.
It's in a different tuning. I think it's completely weird, but it's like I'm my painting right now. I like to just do weird stuff sometimes. You know?
Well, do you think having different creative interests makes you a better artist?
For me personally, Yes, because I look at the guitar and painting as something similar. It's I think it's the same in the end, and it's difficult to explain, like the spacing, contrast, um, all of that.
Hmm.
Now I really got to focus if I don't want to make it completely suck. But I guess it's
Yeah, by the way, again, guys, we're doing this for the Proko Ukraine fundraiser to raise funds for the humanitarian war effort in Ukraine. So if you'd like to donate to that, go to proko.com/Ukraine. Since we last started talking, Rembert, I think somebody donated $100.
shit. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so much. Oh, $200, or we're $500 away. Almost there.
That's awesome.
Haras van der Horst asks, if you were to start from scratch, would you go to a university or practice by yourself with a mentor? Would you do that as well if a visa wasn't an issue?
Good question. I've never thought about that because I don't like to backtrack myself. What if, coulda, shoulda, you know? So let me give this some thought. You know what? If it depends what motivates you. If you are driven by competition and you want to be the best in the class, and only when you got that highest grade, I think school is better for you. Not per se for the education, but you wanting to prove yourself, right? That's at least for me. But if you're not motivated by that, then find yourself some. And this is the difficult part, right? Because no longer you don't have teachers anymore. You need to. I mean, they're not given to you, so you need to find them yourself. So you need to find someone that you really trust. I think that's the hard part.
In your experience, did you ever deal with wanting to do so many things like storyboarding, painting, animation, portraits? How did you find your specific niche you like, or is it possible to do everything?
It's possible to do everything, but you're gonna suck till you're 35, like me. Well, and I'm 30, so hopefully in 5 years I'm right about this. But it's better to do that because why rush getting better when you know that you have your entire life to get better? But the mistake with students is with some people, because some students, they don't. I mean, I'm not gonna. With some people, they wanna get better now, and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth paying some time / learning any 3D software if I want to be a storyboard artist? How good is 3D tool as a story for storyboard art?
I never use it, very seldom. But I know a lot of other artists, storyboard artists, that do use it, and they're very and it works very well for them. So don't take my word for.
There are a lot of different ways of doing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of storyboarding. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's many different styles.
Hi, do you have a tip to sketch more loose and fast? I always take everything too serious at an early stage. Maybe it's my OCD. I really struggle to draw fast.
That's just with time. Do you think I'm painting fast right now or slow? You can answer this in chat. If you're still here.
Oh yeah, well, it's slightly delayed, so.
Oh, okay.
20 seconds. Well, in the meantime, before that person answers, I remember I was talking to a friend about a Jeremy Lipking workshop where watching Jeremy Lipking paint is apparently very, not tedious, but it's almost monotonous. But he's a very fast painter, even though he's very slow mechanically because he's making lots and lots of correct decisions. The person says still fast.
Is this fast?
I guess so.
I mean, I've seen some speed painters back in the day, like Matthias Verhassel or something. Where I'm just thinking, damn, how can you paint that fast? He would have already had something like right now and to be finished, and he would just be playing guitar probably. Keep them coming, guys. Don't be shy. Ask a question.
Yeah, ask as many questions as you want.
Yeah.
Do you either have any tips on getting in the mood and creating inspired art on a project or commission that isn't personally interesting to you? Thanks a lot.
Yes, I try to look at my favorite artists, and it got me pumped up. Like I look at like for like 10 minutes. It's like, oh, this is so dope. Oh, look at these colors. And if I have that, then I know it's something that I can practice while I work. So, because I'm always studying or trying to get better, even when I'm doing a job.
I find it difficult to finish a drawing or painting. I always end up with unfinished sketches, even when I initially intend to do a complete piece. Is this normal? How do I remedy this?
Come again?
I find it difficult to finish a drawing or a painting. I always end up with unfinished sketches, even when I initially intended to do a complete piece. Is this normal? How do I remedy this?
Yes, that's normal. And I have a lot of unfinished sketches. My folders are full of unfinished sketches. I have sketches that I haven't touched for a year now.
That you intend on going back to, right?
Yeah, I do. Some of them I finish years later. Like I have a painting of a cowboy in a Western setting, and that one I started 4 years ago, and I only finished that last year. And I have a couple more paintings that I hope I will be able to finish this or next month. So, yeah.
What's the wildest dream you've had?
I had so many weird dreams. I get like everybody, I guess. But I guess the wildest one should be.
I invited Marielle in, by the way.
You invited Marielle in?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
She'll come in. Yeah.
Marielle's my wife, for anyone that.
Yeah. Did you have any wild dreams that you want to share? Or?
Ooh.
Well, let's get that one.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to paint at the same time. That's the hard part.
Okay.
But I have no problem with. Yeah, I had a weird dream where my dog was elastic, and I thought it was fucking weird. Like literally my dog in Belgium, and he could move through little pipes and stuff by going elastic. Like it was super weird. As in my dream, I thought that's weird. Why can my dog do that? It's like he could, like his bones could. I've been chased by a minotaur in a maze. I woke up being killed by 1,000 zombies, and I fell asleep again, and those zombies were still eating me. And then I woke up again, and then I and it happened like 4 times that I fell asleep again. Oh, the fucking zombies again! Why am I always coming back to this dream? This is absurd. And I sprayed my head with water, and I fell asleep. And I guess I dreamed something else, or I just forgot that I repeatedly being kept eaten by zombies. I have a lot of zombie dreams. That's weird. I hope there will never be a zombie pandemic, because apparently that's my worst nightmare, unconsciously. More questions, yeah. On that cheery note.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Rembert. How important would you say sketchbooking from life is compared to all the other fundamentals you can always study? Would you say 50-50 or something else? Thanks.
Sketchbooks? Like we're gonna do like a speed round, right? Sketchbook.
Yeah. Sketchbooking from life versus all the other fundamentals you can always study.
Sketchbooking from life first. I think sketchbooking from life is the most important. Yeah. Studying fundamentals is. Okay, here comes my first guitar analogy. There's a lot of guitar players, like Kurt Cobain, who didn't know music theory, but did he really have to? Like, I'm pretty sure there are artists out there that don't know anatomy, and they make bonkers art in the past or in the future. So I wouldn't be caught up in. I mean, this is horrible advice, actually. It all depends.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it always depends. So, highly subjective. Do you feel annoyed when somebody praises your ability as talent instead of a practice skill?
No, because I'm not bothered by people that believe in talent. I know there are people that are bothered by it, but I don't, because I don't know, and that's fine. People can believe whatever they want.
When did you start taking art more seriously and considering it as your career?
I was 20.
What are your thoughts on studying / copying other artists' style? And do you have any tips to approach studying style of other artists without ending up as a copy of their style?
Yeah, that's tricky. The younger you are, the more your art will look like someone's, and that's just a factor of being young. That has nothing to do with you being an original. The older you get, the more influences you will obtain, and it will be less visible which style you are. So when you're young and you find like your art looks really like somebody, that's also really normal.
Do you have any recommendations on getting an audience to support your art journey?
Audience to support your, like a Patreon or
I guess so. Like, how do you essentially get a career in art? And how do you gain momentum on that?
By doing it?
I would say post a lot and don't be afraid of what people think of you.
Yeah.
Any artists that you look up to or inspire you?
Yes. Walter Everett.
Albert Dorn.
Christian Nee.
Christian Nee is obviously at the top of that list. My son.
Oh, Scott Flanders. Yeah, he did great cool monsters.
Yes, yeah. What kind of project would you like to do so much that you'd be willing to work for free?
Send me the script and I'll tell you. I don't know. It has a really good story. But for free, I don't know. My wife's gonna kill me.
Well, you'd be drawing for free, I guess. But, yeah.
They were giving me food and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And a place to sleep.
Hey, did you do some boards for the show Arcane? What style is it? Was it very similar to the art style of KSE 332?
Oh yeah, I know him. I worked with him.
Nice.
Son Kim, right? Yeah. No, he did the initial boards. I was on a different project at the time, but most of the storyboards were done at Fortiche and not at Riot.
How do you approach building a visual library? I'll try to do a sketch and doodle, but I'll just default to anatomy.
How do you approach a visual? How do you approach a visual library? I think it's just drawing what interests you. If you're really into cards, then you're gonna be easier to cards than somebody else. I know structurally this is all over the place right now, but bear with me.
I'm good drawing with graphic pictures, but when I try to paint with colors, my drawing doesn't seem 3D like yours. What is your advice? How do I improve my color paintings?
A color? Well, color can be anything you want it to be.
Look at Dronosaurus paintings. His paintings are really crazy and wacky. They still work really well.
Yeah. John Asaro. He's the one that designed the head, right? The Asaro head?
He did, yeah.
I mean, it's in the name. Right.
Yeah. What makes a good / masterful artist on art to you?
What makes a good what?
What makes a good or masterful artist to you?
If you can tell a story successfully. But I mean, not a story, because then I'm like I'm insinuating that art should always be storytelling, while it's not. If he can successfully say what he wants to say before paint, if he can successfully execute his idea, what he has in his head. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think everyone has really good ideas. Everyone has a really good visual in their head for what they want their images to look like. It's just how effectively can they relate that one? Like, can they get 80 or 90% of the way there, or do they get like 10 or 20% of the way there? Or 2 or 3%. And the best artists can get like between 90 and 100% of the way there to what they are visualizing.
Yeah, it will never be what you want it to be. Speak out of experience.
Yeah.
But the ones that get the closest to it. Yeah, and I'm not talking about. So that's why I prefer this answer, because it has nothing to do with technique. If you can tell your story with no technique and it looks cool, yes, good.
Scarlet Red says, could you please suggest which devices and laptop, processor, graphics, etc. to use for this?
For what?
Just for digitally painting, I guess. Yeah, which devices and laptop do you?
Wait, Mariel is here really quick.
Oh, yeah. Mariel. Hey!
Hello.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Oh, Christian!
Hey, look.
Hello.
Look.
Oh my god!
Her hair's all done.
You look tough and bold, but bold, like strong, yeah. I like your look.
Thank you so much.
I'm painting a mermaid.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Trying to paint a mermaid.
No.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Where are you going?
I'm going with my friend.
Oh, okay.
My friend from Peru.
Oh yeah. All right. Have fun.
Thank you.
Drinking while you draw / paint, or no? This goes for everyone. Just curious.
Sometimes I do.
I have water.
Yeah, but not only water. Like I'm Belgian. Sometimes I drink a beer. Yeah, I don't drink that much actually. I'm not encouraging people to drink here, by the way. Don't
Yeah.
sue me. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
What is your opinion on a really late start as an artist? I'm 40 next month, and I just started a year ago.
You just started a year ago. That's the most exciting part of the journey when you're just starting. Don't be pressured. Don't feel like you need to have a portfolio immediately. If you don't feel comfortable, don't show your art, but still go to events and observe people and just make friends with recruiters. I'm just telling you all the things that I did. Make friends with recruiters. Her arm, actually. Yeah, that's better. Do you want me to answer more? Because I can be way more elaborate than that.
Oh yeah, if you want to.
When you're just starting out, just find out what you like, and if you already know what you like, good. Go for that. Like I'm from the opinion that it's okay to imitate people when you're starting out, and just have fun with it. Try to match the quality of your idols.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important part. Just enjoy it. Like, something I always say is that whether you're a professional or a complete beginner, the act of painting is usually pretty similar. Like, you're just in your room by yourself, just throwing down strokes on a canvas. You know, it doesn't change once you're really, really good or anything. So even if you're super young or super old or whatever.
Right.
Name an artist that you'd be willing to sharpen their pencils just to be around them when they paint.
Troya. I would clean his toilet.
So what about Sargent?
Yeah, too.
What about Christian Nee?
Who's that? Oh, Christian Nee. Okay.
Oh man.
I was like Shani. I was like Shani. Wow, that's an old master. I haven't heard of.
There's so many different.
This purple goes really well.
There you go.
No, I just was talking to myself. This purple goes really well with that yellow, so I'm just gonna scoot that in. Some nice colors here.
There's so many different fields of study in art. Do you have any tips on organizing and balancing them? I study through online resources and tend to be a bit lost.
Yeah, and that's the problem with studying online, because you don't have a curriculum that... Yeah, find a teacher, find a mentor. Yeah, I wish I could tell you more, but that's what I did.
Scarlet Red, sorry for missing your question again. She says, could you please suggest devices or laptops, processor graphics to use for this digital art overall?
The
iPad's pretty good, I think. Right?
iPad's pretty good. Yeah. I use an Alienware Aurora. But I think anything works, you know, like as long as you have enough RAM. I think RAM is the most important thing that you want. But if you can find a machine with a lot of RAM, that's good. I don't think graphic cards are necessarily that important if you just want to do Photoshop. I could be wrong on that. Okay, here I'm more getting into structure. For just everyone that was watching, or or is thinking, why is he clowning around so much? Yes, also, but also I'm trying to find the structure, the colors and the mood first. That's what I did first, and now I'm just trying to find the structure in it, and that's only when you can draw. So I would not advise anyone to paint like this when you're starting out, because you're just gonna, you can get lost easily doing this. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to say.
Hey, any ideas on what to draw? As soon as I start thinking what to draw, my head goes blank and I quit. Until next time.
Until next time?
Until, I guess, the next time they draw.
That's not a good brush. So write it down then. I do a lot.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble on what you should draw or paint, I would say go try and have some more experiences. I think that living your life gives you the resources and the inspiration to paint. You know?
Yes.
Like when we were in Peru, Rembert spent a huge chunk of the time just painting the Amazon rainforest and the rivers and Segundo.
Yeah, so okay, there's this cool thing. I told you this, Christian, in Peru. Sargent had this thing where he would just sit down, and if he's looking longer than 5 minutes for something to paint, he just sits down and paints the first thing he sees.
Yeah.
I always like that.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Tiffany Mang about this earlier today, and we're talking about how the job of an artist is to be able to look at a rock and make a rock interesting. You know, make something that's really mundane cool to look at. And if you can do that, you know, you'll have an entire lifetime of things to do, because you'll never run out of things to paint.
Rocks are boring, man. What the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. Yes. What the hell are you guys advising? I'm just kidding. Don't listen to them. Just kidding. No, painting rocks is fun. I like to paint rocks.
Yeah.
It's anyway.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say something and I was like, no, that's not correct.
Old Word Studio asks, I always have to start with line, and whenever I try to go too painterly with my art, it gets muddy and looks like trash. Why can't I give up the mighty line? And should I? I kind of like it in there.
So every time you try something painterly, it looks trash. Is that the?
I guess they're asking. I'll repeat it. I always have to start with the line. Whenever I try to go too painterly with my art, it gets muddy and looks like trash. Why can't I give up the mighty line? Should I give it up? I kind of like it in there.
Keep the line.
No.
I like lines. I'm a big fan of lines.
Yeah, I don't think it's like if you have the impulse to keep something in there, don't be too hard on yourself for not being as painterly as you think you want to be. There are plenty of painterly people that want to work in line that can't because they just don't think that way.
Correct.
And there are plenty of artists that make it work with Justin Sweet has some really cool illustrations with line and paint. Makes it look really cool. I guess he added to his question, how do I know when it is a weakness or part of my style that's developing?
You will see at the end.
I think striving for style is silly. I think you just figure it out as you just draw more. So sorry to interrupt. Remember?
No. You actually correctly answered that.
Any advice for studying mood?
Yeah, imagine you're there. Just go out in the real world. If you really like something, imagine you're there.
Let's see. Any tips for watercolor? I'm just beginning to use it and I would love some techniques or knowledge behind it.
Yes, like I said, listen to the painting. Don't try to know more than. So always so there is a great watercolor artist who's not known enough is Ogden M. Pleisner. Ogden M. Pleisner. He started as an oil painter and then he went to World War II and did watercolor, so he had to be fast. He's amazing. And the only watercolor lesson he ever had was someone that told him, hey, tilt your canvas while you're painting so the water can run down. And that's literally everything. And he said that was the only thing someone taught me about watercolors. So, yeah, for him that was enough. But look him up. You can learn a lot from him. It's Ogden, like OGDEN M.PLEISNER. Do you know about him, Christian?
I don't. Would you spell that again?
Ogden?
Yeah.
M. Pleisner.
Pleisner?
Pleisner, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Let's see. How did you learn values, especially for painting?
By failing a lot. Looking at a lot of other painters. But I do realize right here I'm just sketching. I'm gonna think better about my values and everything later, because this is how I studied them. Is looking a lot at master painters, squinting your eyes, looking at reality. Just looking a lot. It's like training your eye. I wish I could give you exercises. Let me think of one.
What does Rembert look like after a shave?
You mean my head?
Yeah.
I don't know. You will find out if you donate $1,000. Or do they mean my actual face, like just my beard?
No.
Because
very good.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So again, we're doing this for support the humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. So all of the funds are going to be going to hospitals, feeding children, helping refugees, all that sort of stuff. If you want to donate, go to proko.com/Ukraine. We're almost at $50,000 raised. If you want to help some kids and stuff and some injured people, proko.com/Ukraine. 100% of the proceeds are going to be going to Ukraine. So, yeah.
I think it's time to upscale my image again.
If Rembert's teacher didn't mind and Rembert was willing to do so, would he consider sharing more about the sketching exercises he alluded to in the previous interview?
If you really want, contact me afterwards in a PM, and I can get you in touch with my teacher. And if he is willing to, he will probably teach you. So anyone that is interested in that, just PM me right now, or Christian, and then he will give the names. But I'm not sure. I can't guarantee anything.
On Instagram?
Sure.
Sir Royce, I will try to be more articulate.
Try to be more articulate.
No, somebody's telling me I'm mumbling or I have an accent or something.
Maybe you do. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe I do.
Christian has been working hard the last week, so I mean, he always works hard. Hardworking man.
Not always. He said the guy says I would love to do that, but I don't want to bomb his DMs.
Well, he doesn't have that many DMs because nobody knows who he is.
I think you.
Ah, me. Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah, bomb Rembert's DMs.
No, you can send me anytime. Yeah. If I don't respond immediately, it's not because I ignored you. It's just because I'm busy. But that I know that's no excuse. Like I normally should always come back to you.
Yeah, Rembert was exactly in everyone's position as a student at some point.
Even worse.
But yeah, no, like everyone is at a stage where they're afraid to reach out to people and all that stuff. Yeah. So.
I'm very, very interested in my mind why I was more interested in getting that elbow right than anything else. But
Jacob is asking, do I get paid? I do get paid. I do work for Proko. I'm an employee.
Do I what?
They're asking if I get paid.
You can
I work for Proko. I'm an employee of Proko.
If he didn't get paid, then it's charity, right?
How would I fund the Sketchy Van podcast? He says, ignore me if you're busy. I'll understand.
Yeah, please do.
Somebody says, I think this mermaid should be holding an olive branch with a blue and yellow heart.
An olive branch?
Yes. I just noticed that your mermaid is Ukrainian themed.
Yeah, I said that at the start.
Oh, I guess I missed that part.
It's okay.
If anyone would like to ask any questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, it's a Ukrainian mermaid. That sounded rude. I'm sorry.
What?
Like I was like, yeah, I said that at the start.
That's okay, man. I guess I didn't notice the colors. I was like,
It's because blue and yellow go together really well. Actually, purple. That's why I added, like, here. Let's add some purples. Here.
cool. Somebody's asking if I get paid in Prokos, like Proko bucks. Yeah.
He got paid in anatomy lessons.
Yes, in anatomy lessons. Do you have any sort of reference for her tail? The pattern is gorgeous.
No, I don't. I should get some reference. I'm just looking at. I do kind of like these purples here, so if I really want, I can sort of push that more. But thank you. I mean, just trying to do stuff. Originally, I wanted to draw a storyboard frame, which I probably should, and which everybody was probably hoping for. I'm sorry. We'll keep that for a sketchy van podcast or something.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, everyone, I have a podcast that I host out of the cargo van that I live in. If you'd like to listen to it, it is my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I would recommend everyone to.
Oh, thank you. How did you find your teacher in Croatia, or did you go there specifically to study with that teacher?
Oh, my teacher wasn't in Croatia. That was online. I just went to Croatia because it's cheaper. Cheaper than Belgium in any way.
Somebody asking if they could see my art. I have a website called christiany.com. I don't do much art right now. I guess I've been, doing the van thing for a while. It's been my creative outlet. I have some art on christiany.com. So jealous of your van life. Yeah, it's been fun. I am glad I did it, and it's never too late to try it out. It's not as glamorous as the Instagram photos make it out to be, but it is extremely fun. Was going to Croatia part of a quest?
Yes, of getting better as an artist. Because, yeah, I alluded to that a little bit at the start, but I can restate that. Think you should do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went there because I saved some money and I wanted to get better, and I could do it there in a cheaper way.
Yeah.
So I actually moved to a. So you have two things to do when you don't have your art skills there. You can get a job part-time, and then the other time do your art, or you can move to a cheaper country and just keep practicing there till you have it.
Yeah. Are you using references when you are painting?
Not right now. At the start for the water, I was sort of looking at something, but right now I'm not, and that's why the design is super weird and the colors are all over the place. But I should. Like under here, there should be like probably a more blue light. Lighting those planes. I'm not really gonna worry about that now. I've been avoiding your face all the time. I realize that.
What are some advantages or differences between painting digitally versus traditionally?
Obviously, when I was painting traditionally right now, it wouldn't be so random. It wouldn't be. Like I would more have a plan of what I'm doing.
What daily regimen would you both of you fine men recommend for a full-time working daddy? I have about 2-ish hours a night. I'm not too tired every night. A regimen to get better quicker, that is. Do you have any thoughts on that?
For what? If you're a father?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough, because then having a kid is like a full-time job. But I'm not saying people have done it. So Soraya had a lot of kids and grandchildren, so it's.
I mean, from my own personal perspective, I think that it doesn't really matter how long you practice. I think it matters how intentional you are. And I think it's like 15 minutes of intentional practice is better than like eight hours of unintentional practice. So I guess meditating helps a lot of people. Exercise, having like a set of goals in mind. So it's hard to get better as an artist if you don't know what kind of art you want to get better at. Like, it's so nebulous being an artist. Like, you want to get good at perspective or anatomy or fine art or concept art or illustration or storyboarding or animation. It's like you could keep going forever. And realistically, people only really have enough time to get good at one of those. So Scott Flanders recommended to me, at least, really helped me, is to write down what your goals are and to plan your art regimen around those goals versus just studying somebody else's curriculum. I think that lets you be a lot more intentional with your short amount of time. Do you have any other thoughts, Rembert?
To have a schedule, or
to having a daily regimen.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of them. That so sketch arms in 5 minutes, sketch that in 5 minutes, like just to get quicker.
Apple Phil says, to get better at art, you have to move mountains and train with the artist monks. Sometimes. Is there any type of scene you don't like to storyboard for?
Any scene that I don't like to storyboard? No. I don't like to storyboard bad stories. Sometimes that happens, trust me.
By the way, we probably have between 10 and 15 minutes left in the stream. Just to reiterate, this is for the Proko Ukraine fundraiser. We're raising funds for the humanitarian effort in Ukraine, helping hospitals and refugees and stuff. If you'd like to donate, go to proko.com/Ukraine. We're almost there to $50,000. And if you can't donate, that's no problem. Feel free to share around. People just watching this kind of stuff does actually help quite a bit. Thanks again, Rembert, for sticking around.
No, you're welcome. I can be here longer if you want. If you really want me to finish this and it actually looks like something, but I'm not forcing you to stay. No,
I'm good. I think I could stick around for a little bit longer. I think John is the only person that might
object to this.
Yeah, because he has a family.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Socrates, the cab driver, says, they say God sang, ask and you shall receive. I've been working on my drawing on my rooftop that involves underwater. This live is a godsend. Hope you break 100,000. Yeah, thanks. Let's see. Do you think art is a reliable job? Depends, I think. Do you have any thoughts, Rembert?
Yeah, depends if you're a freelancer or you have a studio job.
Yeah. How do you know how much to charge for your work when you were starting? How did you convince the clients?
You just say this is my rate, and if they say no,
Yeah.
it's a risk. But if you start out, I would try to get experience first.
Yeah, Steven Zapata was saying to me that if you give them a rate and they don't cringe, then you gave them the wrong rate. Also, Old World Studio says, big question. Thanks, guys. I know. Thanks. So, the answer to that is that people have done it. People have gotten really good at art with families and starting late and everything. It's just a matter of like, putting in the work and the hours and stuff. You can definitely do it. What is something you'd like to see more in the art community or industry?
Less atmospheric perspective.
Guys in the foreground with spears.
Is that too specific? More colors in concept art.
Yeah. I'm planning to become a YouTube animator. Even if I get 1,000 likes per million views, it'd still help a lot. Any tips for a newbie animator like me?
For a newbie animator?
Yeah.
Create a short film. Short films are a great way to learn anything. I would actually suggest anyone to study animation. I think it is the art form where you can you tackle everything, and then later on in life what you wanna do. You tried everything.
You prefer digital or traditional?
Huh?
Do you prefer digital or traditional?
Traditional. That's quick.
You mentioned having 15-minute exercises. Can you share besides on arms, what else did you practice, like human anatomy or all kinds of stuff?
Mostly human anatomy, because humans are the hardest to draw.
We can end it in 10 minutes if you'd like to keep going, Rembert.
Yeah,
I'm
okay. I'm okay with going.
Sounds good. Yeah, we have 10 more minutes left in the stream. I'm also planning on making a short film, but telling storytelling is the hardest thing for me because I really can't come up with thought-provoking, amazing stories. I think anyone can. I think believing in yourself is the hardest part, though. How do you become a great storyteller? Any advice?
By telling stories. And take stories out of your own life and try to board them in a simple way. That's what I did at first. If I didn't know what to board, look at. But you mean a storyboard artist or just storyteller in general? Storyteller, I would just read a lot of simple stories. Don't go into too difficult ones immediately with people where the characters are very morally gray. I don't think that's a good way to start, because then it becomes very blurry. I think the solid ones and the ones that are easy to get a grasp on are the ones where it's more not simple. I don't want to say simple because Lord of the Rings isn't simple, but yeah.
Do you have any tips on making your storyboards as clear and readable as possible?
Draw a lot. That is everything to do with drawing. That's a drawing problem.
There are no more streams after Rembert, so I believe this is the last one. Last but not least. Yeah, I guess I'll go through some of the prizes still left on the website.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We have an original oil painting by Jeff Watts, 9x12, a study.
Oh, Gila, he donated one?
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Watts. He's
amazing.
A great painter. Yeah. You know, I went to the Watts Atelier and studied with Jeff, and it was some of the best art education I've ever had. I highly recommend the Watts Atelier. Stan's original oil painting for around $3,000. Leon's for $4,000. My friend Christina Cornett, she is a professional concept artist working at ZeniMax Studios, Bethesda. She is doing mentorships, or not mentorships, for portfolio critiques for $50 each. Wacom is selling an Intuos for $100. Figure Drawing Fundamentals by Stan is on there. Model Packs, Lane Brown Brush Pack. Patrick Jones, he's also pretty awesome. You know, he's a really great artist. He has a ebook bundle up there. Taylor Olivis has a painting up there for $100. Nick Runge, he's a watercolor artist.
I love Nick Runge.
Yeah, he has a couple originals up there.
Shit, I should look myself.
Yeah. Those are those are gonna go quick. They're $300 each. It's $250. Eric Gist has a painting from Guillermo del Toro, inspired by Guillermo del Toro on there. Patrick Ballesteros has a drawing up there. Scott Flanders has a drawing up there. That's sculpture. Cornelia Hernez has a couple paintings. Yeah, there's tons of stuff up there. Yeah, so if anyone would like to get any of those prizes, they're still on the website. We didn't put up the Jeff Watts painting until today, but I'm sure if we did, it would have been one of the first things to sell. He's really a fantastic artist. Let's see. Did you start with traditional or digital art first?
Digital.
How did you learn to do action scenes or storyboarding?
Sun Kim was my mentor. I've been very lucky with that.
Yeah. Let's see. What's your guilty pleasure after a hard day of art?
Guitar. I also like to listen to very obscure 90s pop music.
Nice.
Christian is aware of this.
Oh yeah, I think we listen to the same obscure music, except Mind Dimension. That's
no,
that's not obscure at all.
That's radio music.
Mind Dimension is the greatest song of all time. If anyone wants to look it up.
Aaron Elke is an icon of vibes to that.
Just out of curiosity, is there anyone? Could anyone give me their thoughts on who they would want to see do a live stream? It's delayed, so I'm gonna be late responses. But in the meantime, how did you learn to board action scenes?
Sung and Kim
Seon
was
Kim?
my mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you recommend finding a mentor?
Well, I found mine by being lucky. I wouldn't know. I met him in person, so that helped. Not at an art festival, but in Angoulême, a little town in France, where I was going to some school where they were ripping me off, and I wanted my money back. And he happened just to be there to get me through the situation, because there's a lot of fake art schools that prey on your money and do promises, and then I'm not gonna name it because I don't want to give them publication.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
yeah, he was there to see me all the way through. And then he just one day told me, "Hey, you want to learn anatomy?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And he taught me for 1 year for free. And then he said, "You know, I've been teaching you this for a year, and I don't have a job. It would be nice if you could pay me." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll pay you." And that's how it started.
We have about 2.5 minutes left in the stream before we should probably cut it. I'm gonna do a lightning speed round
Okay.
question thing. Thanks for reminding me that art takes time. I tend to get impatient and want to complete my art right away. Which watching you reminds me that good art requires time. Love your painting so far. People say they would like Ahmed Aldori, Marco Bucci, Ian McHugh, Moro Digital Arts, Roll Up, Peng Cheng-wei, Jeff Watts would be fun, Carl Ortiz, Marshall, TB Choi, or Kim Jong-gi, or Art Shelley. Yeah, those would all be great live streams. I'll let them know that you guys asked. And I think this is the last question. I know this is kind of cringe, but I hope you guys won't hate me for this. What makes a good romance story? I want to animate some good love story scenes.
Why is that cringe?
Yeah, that's not
It's
cringe
not
at
cringe.
all. Somebody says your pen sketches look like Ryan Woodward's.
Ryan
Yes.
Woodward?
Yeah,
That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
yeah,
I'm gonna see him tomorrow, actually.
nice.
He's. I mean, I'm name dropping here. Fuck. Shouldn't do that.
But yeah. What makes a good romance story in the last minute of the stream?
Wow. Christian, aren't you having a nice romantic story in your life at one point?
I will not talk
You
about
don't.
it. I would say that your impulse to say that you're
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Don't cringe at that. I think that's totally fine. You know, some of the most popular movies of all time, especially Disney movies, deal a lot with romantic stories, and I think we all know, you know, Simba and Nala from The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and all that stuff. It's kind of prolific to our culture. Totally okay.
To reiterate on that, like I didn't want to put anyone on the spot, but it's just look at your own life. You probably had a heart broken or someone that you like in your life. Even if you couldn't talk to them, never, it's still a romance story. So you could probably use yourself as.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you didn't make this uncomfortable, Miss Sai. And Joe asks, "What's best in life?" And I think it's living in a cargo van. Cool. Again, thank you so much, Rembert, for joining. Again, if anyone would like to donate money to the Proko Ukraine fundraiser, it's going to be going to a good cause. You know, helping people in need. Yeah, Rembert, do you have any other closing thoughts?
Good art takes time. No, the best thing for art is time. And donate for Ukraine.
Nice.
They're completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mostly it.
Nice. Cool. Well, thanks again. I think we can end the broadcast now.
All right. Thank you for having me.